What up, though? DB's in the building, everybody here. And of course, that dude right there, that's the sports guru Hugh Lee. So you know that means that it's time for Game Time Audible. We are here to talk sports with y'all this evening. We've come to you an hour and a half early because we recognize we got a major sporting event going on tonight. NBA Finals Game 4. You know we're going to talk about that. But we got other stuff to talk about. What is it? I don't even know. It's all on that today. I put it on the guru. So whatever he bring up, football, football, and anything else he brings up, we gonna talk about it. Cause you know if I put it on him, we gonna talk about some football somewhere in there. You know it's coming. It's inevitable. He can't help himself. Y'all, we gonna talk sports, and we want y'all to be part of the conversation. So whether you're here on the Bigo Street, shout out to Silver Fox. Good evening, my friend. How are you? Or anybody else popping in here on the other platforms, feel free to chime on in. We want to hear from y'all for real, for real. Let us know what you think about what the hell we talking about. So that being said, we're gonna take our quick commercial break as we tend to do. Give y'all time to grab y'all drink, beverage, nachos, whatever the case may be. And when we come back, the show is on and popping. All right, look, we got people chiming in. That's what I'm talking about. Gregory Alpha checking in. Good evening, fam. What up, dog?
Good, man. What's up?
I'm always in the building.
Always love, baby.
Just getting off work. Cool. You right on time, then, bro. Man. So y'all don't go nowhere. We're gonna be right back. So we can kick it. This is Game Time Audible. What's your name? What did we call you?
Guru. You the sports guru. Believe that.
All right, then, and I'm E-Beezy, and we ready to go and get it in. After these words, people here at the Nighthawk Network. That part later.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Behind the Blue Curtain, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Unscripted talk on police reform and race relations.
And now, Behind the Blue Curtain's law enforcement liaison, retired 32-year Chicago police veteran, homicide detective, former commander, sergeant, grant writer, lecturer, and adjunct professor, Joseph J. Mosley.
Behind the Blue Curtain's minister of common sense, former 12-year Fort Worth police officer, educator, voice of reason, and unapologetic practitioner of sound judgment, the young scholar, LaRonda Young.
Behind the Blue Curtain's co-host, fact checker, and investigative journalist, Isidoro Rodriguez.
What's up, everybody? Eric Buckner here. You know Miss EB, Young Easy, Eric Buck, all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm here to kick it with y'all about this little podcast I've been doing. You know, I talk trending topics. I talk about the stuff we as people need to talk about. I talk about some things, actually, that people kind of want to shy away from, because we got to have these discussions, folks. That's how we get better. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hold on. Yeah, so anyway, you know, I do it Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. You can check it out on Facebook, on YouTube. You know, it's a good show. I say get into it. Yeah, you want to know the name of the show? You said, hold on. Hey, you, get off my lawn. Yeah, anyway, that's the name of the show, by the way. Get off my lawn. Check it out Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Let me go handle this. What up, y'all? We back. Game Time Audible in effect. Ready to talk sports with you guys. That is Hugh. I'm E, and I'm ready to get it in. Let us first make sure that we say hi to one of our favorite people in the Nighthawk Network, Miss Pat. What's going on, Miss Pat?
Hey, how you doing, Miss P?
Thanks for checking in and checking on your boys. We appreciate it. We're ready to talk that sports, so let's get it in. What we talking about, Hugh?
Man, I want to kind of get into depth about the All-Star Weekend, man. Pretty interesting things went on the All-Star Weekend, and I definitely enjoyed the All-Star Game as well.
Okay. Go for it, Hugh. What interested you, my friend? Hey, Mixed Goddess, I see you.
You know, the home run derby always interested, man. But I want to get more into like the All Star game itself, man, because first and foremost, man, big ups to Shohei for doing both, man. He seemed like he got a little gas when it came to the home run derby. That just wasn't him, man. You know, it's like batting practice, but on a whole nother level. And he still lived up to the hype. I just think after being in there and doing like 3 rounds and tying twice, man, he got a little gas. But just to see how beautiful he pitched in the All Star game, man. And we talked about that already. He's not even really in his prime, and not only that, he's not 100% yet, coming off his Tommy John surgery. And I think that brother is dangerous, man. And I'm starting to get to the point. I mean, hey, check me if I'm wrong. I'm starting to think he's gonna be the face of that franchise over there, man, in Los Angeles, man, Anaheim, wherever the hell you want to call it. No disrespect to Mike Trout, because we know he's a stud, man. He's out there, man. But Shohei can do it all, man. That's the difference, man. He can impact you with the, or he can impact you with how good the pitches lately too. And man, he put on a hell of a show in the All Star game.
Well, I must admit, Anaheim did a move that was very interesting, and it'll probably come up later on when one of your topics. But in terms of his All Star game, his actual All Star game, it's all right. Yeah, I understand. We have never seen anybody come and pitch and hit in the All Star game. He was the starting pitcher and the person that batted first for the National League. Unheard of. It's crazy, ridiculous stuff. But in the same token, people, it was just all right. His at bat rounded out, laughing giggles. His one inning of work, pretty much just average stuff. Yeah, he hit 100 a couple times. That was nice. But he didn't do nothing extraordinary. But his presence there,
It is definitely something to talk about, though. You can't.
his mere presence there, though, brought more eyes to the TV. They need Shohei Ohtani to continue to thrive in both pitching and hitting. He is helping save baseball right now. That is my opinion. All right, hold on. We got people checking in. This Pat say, "What up, Hugh?"
Hey, what's going on?
Checking in. What's up, Sean?
Hey, Stu.
Okay, Facebook user. Hold on. We got to figure out who this is
Mhm.
because they must be on the other platform. Stand by. Go ahead, Hugh.
Okay, they said what's y'all opinion on not having people in the stands in the Olympics?
Now,
I,
here's the thing. Dot. Okay, that's Miss Pat saying that. No, we're not talking about that yet. Purposely,
we
hold
definitely
on.
will talk about it though.
I want to reserve my comments for when we actually get to that subject.
We can sit on that one, Miss P. And she
That's
already got you riled up,
a
I see.
whole separate topic in and of itself. I don't want to go there yet. We'll come back to that. All right, but back to the All-Star game. It was a good All-Star game. American League won again. It's kind of crazy how it goes in streaks like that. Growing up as a kid, the National League was always winning. Then it was the American League. Then it kind of evened out for a couple of years. Now we back to the American League winning all the time. I think that's mainly because American League got all the big power hitters.
Pretty much.
They got the big strong boys. And most of these parks they played in the last few years are the bandbox parks, the parks where it's easy to hit them home runs. And I think that's purposely so. Although we do have to keep in mind that the All-Star game originally was not supposed to be in Coors Field, was supposed to be in Atlanta, but because of
Yeah,
that,
you know what happened there.
that went on. And they had the nerve to have a Republican commercial talking about that last night. That offended me. Y'all, I don't want the sports people to be in politics, but there y'all is putting the politics in the sports.
I have a question
Okay.
for you.
Well, hold on. Let me get these comments first. Everybody's saying what up to Miss Pat. Rose said, I saw the home run derby and a little bit of the celebrity game. Now, I missed that. Did you check out the celebrity game, you?
No, I haven't, man. I think, man, I barely watched the All Star, like the home run derby. Right after I went to sleep, I kind of figured my man was going to win, though, man, because Pete Alonso was a stud, man, and the way he came out swinging with the 35 hits in the first round, I was like, yeah, man, he solidified that he was going to take it. And big ups to Trey Mancini too, man, because of his comeback, man, after having cancer and being able to survive and bounce back and be in a home run derby and be in second place. He just didn't have enough home runs for my man's though, because Pete Alonso, man, he on a whole nother level, even when it comes to power bats.
I think honestly, Alonso one of those players that when they do batting practice, they play a home run derby. So the reason why he's so good at it is because it's something he practiced doing. Some people they just basically go to batting practice and they hit. I think Alonso is one of those people like much like Mark McGuire and some of those guys back in the day. They batting practice is dedicated to launching them over the fence. So there's that. Okay, Miss Pat is saying I only asked because I got a Zoom board meeting at 8. So that being said, all right, Hugh, we got any more comments about the game? And then I guess we better go on to the Olympic comments so we can let
All
Miss
right,
Pat.
man. That's my one last question, man. You know, we already talked about this brother before, man. I have a question for you, E. Do you think if Vlad Guerrero was in a bigger market, he have as much love as Shohei? Because man, he was the game MVP, and right now I still feel like he one of the guys. If they gave him a bigger stage, can be one of them same guys who's mentioned in the same breath as Shohei as far as saving baseball, man.
Baseball players on average make the most money of any players in the major sports on average. They have the longest longevity of any players on average in all the major sports. That being said, baseball is doing a terrible job of marketing its stars. More people should be able to recognize Shohei Ohtani, uh, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., all these young stars that start to baseball. See them and know them by sight. It's like you know what LeBron looks like. You know what Tiger Woods looks like. You know what Peyton Manning or Tom Brady looks like. Baseball is doing a terrible job of marketing its players. That is part of why baseball is dying and baseball has a longer season. So it gives you even more time to market the people. That's my point, H2. That is part of the problem. These are awesome players. They are doing incredible things, but they are not being properly marketed by MLB. So,
Agreed.
yeah, to answer your question, I definitely agree. They need to do a better job of marketing these guys. And not to mention, some of these guys have some awesome personalities, okay? Fernando Tatis Jr., an excellent interview whenever they interview him. Dude is fun. I mean, people like Lindor for the Mets, another fun interview. They got to do a better job.
Miami Marlins. It's Jazz something, but that dude's a stud too, man. They shortstop, man. He fun to watch. You ever see him play? Man, that dude's impressive.
Yeah, like I said, understand that this All-Star game had the most players under the age of 25 than any All-Star game in history. A lot of first-time All-Stars were in this game. Now, granted, I kind of don't like how they set it up now, where basically everybody comes, gets their one at bat or they couple innings and whatnot. It's not like back in the past where the starters really did start at least 2-3 innings, and then everybody else came in. I kind of hate they didn't went away from that to make sure they get everybody in the game. But in the same token, I understand. But no, bottom line is the All-Star game was good, but it could be better. It has been better in the past. I know some people didn't like that when they played it, and whoever won was the person that determined who was going to get home field advantage. I kind of missed that myself. I thought it made it interesting.
Made them play harder.
So they are more apt to get hurt if they play longer in the game. I can understand that, H2, but in the same token, if that's the case, some of the players should not play. Understand that a lot of those players that played last night played Sunday. And now here they are Tuesday playing again. Some of those players, knowing they were slightly banged up but could not pass up the opportunity to be first-time All-Stars, they shouldn't have played, period. It was 4 people picked from Houston. None of them showed up to the All-Star game. All of them basically decided, no, I'm too hurt, or no, I got other stuff going on. I'm not going to go. I think they should have stuck with that. Luis Urania. What's going on? Thanks for joining us on the Bigo. But yeah, that's what I feel about that. But okay, but for Miss Pat, we will change the format of the show just for you, Miss Pat, because we love you. You want to talk the Olympics? All righty then. You asked for it. You better go first, you, because you already know I'm coming with it.
Man, I'm not watching the Olympics, man. I don't like the way, everything went off. When I was told at first it wasn't going to be no crowd, and, the interaction of the game makes it that much more special. This is a world event. But now that they're saying that, man, I wasn't even interested. Hell, I didn't even think I was really going to really be dedicated to it when, Sakari Richardson didn't, when she got suspended. And I know that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, that kind of made me lose interest, but more or less how bad the U.S. Olympic basketball team playing, man. I just think the dudes didn't come prepared, and I'm just like, man, I don't
Now,
even really have much to say, but I just don't feel like it's something that I really have interest in the first place.
hey, time out, bro. You talking two separate subjects. Don't throw that in there. Let's deal with the main thing first, and then go back to the men's basketball team bullshit.
You
But
want me to be honest with you? I'm not really all that interested in it, man. The way they just Sakut said that the crowd's not going to be able to be involved. We already had events like that before in the past, and we know how bad it was. And I just don't feel like we should even have the Olympics at all. We've been talked about that. They should just chalk it up this year as a loss, man, and move on and give it to the next, people or whoever's supposed to be hosting the Olympics, because I just think it's a waste of time by this time now.
people have gotten up at 3 and 4 in the morning, people. Hear me out now. For years at a time, preparing their bodies and their minds for this moment in time in the Olympics, okay? To now come to the knowledge that once you get there, one, as an athlete, you pretty much ain't gonna be allowed to go nowhere beyond the Olympic Village and to your event. What the hell fun is that? That ain't fun. Part of the Olympic experience is the experience. And you're not getting that. Two, when you get to Japan, do know that most of the people, the residents of Japan, they don't want your ass there. That's part of what upsets me about this. Hey, yes, I did what I was supposed. Yeah, I know, Felicia, I ain't even asked you. Look, part of the problem I have is this: Japanese government, you selfish bastards, you are continuing to find a way to throw this Olympics because it's about the money. Where's the microphone? What I needed? You already know. Oh, okay. I just use this one. For that mean green. That's all this is about right now. Because this is a trash Olympics we're about to have, people. How on earth can you possibly justify this beyond the fact that it would cost the Japanese government too much money to just tank these Olympics yet again, knowing that they've already lost several billions of dollars from not having it when they were supposed to last year? But what's the difference between this year and last year? We had a vaccine. But guess what? You think they don't want to take it here in America? They really ain't trying to take it in Japan. And surprisingly, they do have a choice. Where we have half of the population of this country vaccinated and the numbers are still going up. The numbers are going up even more so in Japan, where only 15% of the population is vaccinated. Understanding that Japan has many people like we have many people. But most of them, just like a good part of us, do not trust these vaccines, particularly in the case of the Japanese, because they come from America. And they see when they get reports from America that we are not trying to take them either. So why the hell would I be convinced to do so? The 15% of the people in Japan who have taken the vaccines, most of them are government officials, where it more or less was like, take this or lose your job. So that's the only reason why they are vaccinated. Understand that most of the athletes that are coming to the games have chosen not to be vaccinated at all. So then there's that. Hell, today they announced that when you get your gold medal for winning your bootleg event in this bootleg Olympics, they will not even give you the respect of putting it on your neck. What's going to happen? Let me tell you what's going to happen. Let me show you, okay? What will happen is they will give it to you in the little Olympic box, like, here it is, here's your gold medal. And they will expect you to put it on your own damn self.
I have a question then, E.
That's not fun. That's not ceremonious. That's not a special moment. And then on top of that, you are not to protest or throw no fist up or none of that other shit. It's all bullshit. Bullshit. What up, Hugh?
Why are we bringing our talent over there in the first place, then, if all this stuff is escalating, man, the way it is?
That's my point. And if any country is listening to this podcast, do know I do not approve y'all message. Don't send y'all people there. Don't even bother. If they win, so the hell what? It's tainted. It's an asterisk. It's a okey doke. It's not a real deal. It's Montreal. It's the Moscow games where half of everybody didn't show up or didn't send all their people. This is not a legitimate Olympics. The win is not a legitimate win. It's a reason why a lot of these athletes are bowing out, which goes to your next point about the basketball. A lot of the major players, the LeBrons and the Hardens and stuff of the world, I'm straight. I don't want to go. That's all right. I don't want to go because they know this ain't no real deal. Understand these other countries that are playing us even in exhibition games, they know we got them this time because one, there are more foreign athletes in the NBA than ever before. It's not like back when the Dream Team was first assembled back in the 90s and only maybe 20 or 30 people legitimately were in the NBA from foreign countries. Damn near a third of the NBA is people from foreign countries, and several of them come from the same country. So it should come as no surprise that Australia and Nigeria is beating this bootleg version of the men's basketball team.
The C team.
I've seen some of the highlights. They hot dogging it out there. It's just a run in the park. So just some fun shit to do. Just a extra little something. They're not trying to win no gold medal. It ain't about no pride. They are slapping a high five with the opposing team and whatnot. This ain't no real Olympics. I don't want to see it. I don't want it to happen. I wish Japan was a little bit more open like the United States, because if there was, people would be outside of the stadium protesting their ass off like, we didn't want this, no way. Send them the hell back to the crib. And I blame the world because in the end, we can resolve this real simple. The Olympic Committee can say, look, can we look out for Japan? They spent all this money, but y'all know we got all this going on. Can everybody just put in a little money and then let them get the Olympics in 2024 and just put everybody back 4 years? I understand it's a little inconvenient for these other countries, but y'all know we had a world pandemic and it changed things. Look out for them. So that way the Japanese people can feel more comfortable about it. Japan would be trying to force feed us this bootleg ass Olympics, and we could have a real Olympics in 2024. That's all I got to say about that.
I really didn't have too much to say, even for the icing on the cake, man. I just lost interest, man. It was to the point where I seen all this stuff going on, and I just was like, man, I don't even know why I'm gonna waste my time. And then when I seen the basketball game, I was like, they didn't even send a B team; they sent the C team of dudes out there. And like you said, man, it's just like them going over there to Japan and having an All-Star game, an NBA All-Star game at that, where they really not trying to do much, man. They look too cute. They're not even playing fundamentals, man. It seems like they just let people go to the hole, man. They don't take nothing serious. So, and you can tell the way how bad the U.S. been playing.
I think game's better than that, Hugh.
It was so bad, man, that they had to redeem themselves, that third game, because they know, man, that it's a joke, man. But all in all, I don't really care, man, who wins, because I'll be doing something else with my time. I'm gonna be honest with you. Appreciate
don't care. How much don't I care? Well, keep in mind, we are in the dead zone, okay? You know,
I agree with you, H2.
Ain't much going on. Ain't much going on football-wise just yet. Still early on in that process. Basketball gonna be over. So yeah, Hugh, if you ain't figured it out, what I'm saying is next week, no show. We're not gonna feed the people just any old thing, okay? We want to talk about real legitimate sports and they full effect. This the dead zone for next week, no show. We don't need it. Ain't gonna be much going on. So unless, and I will reserve the right if something major happens. Like one of these stories that you gonna bring up later on, or like say Aaron Rodgers comes next Monday and say, "I quit. I'm going to host Jeopardy." Yeah, we got to come on and talk about that shit. I can't let that ride. But
No,
beyond the realm of anything else beyond that, I'm straight. Nah, we
it
can move on.
depends. It depends on what happened tonight too, man. Because
H2, you're absolutely right. You know, we done talked about this on and off ourselves, H2. This Olympics going to be the worst than the boycotted Olympics. Agreed. Because at least people was at the damn Olympics. But by this not being a full Olympic, USA is not going to send their best team, which will make our
right there. Good point.
like I said, whether they win or not, it shouldn't even really matter. I understand some of these people is in the prime of their career, and 4 years later going to be different, but 3 years later. But it is what it is. Nobody asked for this pandemic, but we got it. We got to deal with it. We got to understand and change some shit. When we write the history of the world, we'll discuss that. Well, 2020 and 2021 was a little shaky because this shit happened. But then we got back on track.
We never thought nothing like this would happen in our lives, especially in our childhood, man.
I know I didn't. I said 2024 when they talked about absolutely H2, and I agree with you then. I agree with you now. Especially, I'll be so glad when football season starts. You and me both. College and pro for that matter. But it will be the Olympics that will break streaks. Okay, I think I know what you mean by that. But in the end, it don't really matter if this ain't a legitimate Olympics. Those streaks and things, they should not matter or count in regards to that. The numbers, the records, none of that should count. That's just my personal opinion. Bottom line is, think about it. Yeah, you might mess around and break Olympic and world records, but part of it is the fact that ain't no crowd to really deter you or give you any sense of anxiety or all that. It's like running in the backyard. So you got to consider that as a fact. I feel the same way. The whole key is that you are running in the Olympics, and all these other countries got all these other people chanting no, 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 and go Nigeria and bully, bully, and all that other stuff. But you face all these adversities and still find a way to win and be proven to be the best in the world. That's what makes the Olympics the Olympics. If we're not gonna have that, then we shouldn't have the Olympics. Period. Period. Note the silence, y'all.
Stick a plug in it. Stick a plug in that Olympic.
So H2 is saying you want to say you're the best in the world if the world is not there. Exactly.
Point.
My point. Shout out to King to my Queen Ja, Nasim for checking in to the show. Lily, thank you guys for checking in on Bigo. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for checking in on the book. Some of our favorites. Where y'all been at? We're gonna talk about it at the end of the show. But anyway, we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back from that tirade, we're going to see what else that the sports guru wants to talk about tonight in terms of the sports. But yeah, the Olympics, Smurf y'all, man. Y'all blew it. GameTime Audible.
Viewer discretion is advised.
One. Hi everybody, I'm Lily and today I'm going to share my book with the whole entire world.
I love that commercial. Shout out to Liliana Corsi, the youngest working member of the Nighthawk Network. I gotta make sure I buy that book so I can show y'all. Matter of fact, we gotta set up so one of y'all can win that book for your child. That'll be a good giveaway, don't you think?
Good idea.
Yep, couple of them. So H2 could do it too. What you think, H2? Anyway, I'm not showing my best to the world. The whole world is there. Exactly. She is too cute. You are right, Miss Pat. But anyway, y'all, Game Time Audible is back. We are talking more sports. We through talking about the Olympics. That's making me hot and not a good way. What else you got, Hugh?
Man, I know you said that we weren't going to really talk too much into football, but like you said, man, if something big happened, we're going to have to put beans on it.
I told you,
man.
I told you it was coming. What you got, Hugh?
But you know, man, I wouldn't talk about it if it wasn't big, bro. Your man's Richard Sherman, man, he's in jail right now with no bail, man. They said that he did burglary and domestic violence. And it got to the point where when they said it was no bail for him, I said, what's really going on? What's happening right now? And you know what makes me upset about it is the fact that when it comes to just our black athletes in general, why is it to the point where their news always get thrown out there, man, and they're guilty before they're proven innocent every time, man? It's not one black athlete who's out there, whose information gets out there and put out there in this world. They look at them like they're innocent. They're all guilty, but I don't even hear what they have to say. Why is it like that right now, man? It's definitely ESPN to drag you through the mud. That's what I've seen it at most of the day. And I'm like, well, damn, what is going on with that? This is happening all the time with our sports, but we don't even really know what's going on, and we don't know the facts yet. But they already got this brother in jail, and he ain't getting out. No time for him. How do you feel about this?
Okay, first of all, let me acknowledge my people's H2 saying thanks for y'all support Monday. Of course, H2.
Not much love.
Right now. Shout out to Snake Eyes here on the Bigo. Yeah, don't know who you are, Snake Eyes, but I am looking forward to the movie Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe Origins movie that's coming out. Definitely want to check that on out. You know, G.I. Joe, that was my guy. But anyway, in terms of this particular subject, I care, but I don't. I care, but I don't. You like, huh? Let me explain, Hugh. First of all, every summer we go through this. Every summer, the NFL in a attempt to stay in the headlines and keep their number one ranking as the most watched and interested in sport comes out with these things. Understand, yeah, because we are that type of society, somebody would have reported on this happening, but it didn't have to be to the extent that it is. In the end, there was nothing extraordinary about what Mr. Sherman is being charged for. Now, granted, I'm not about to sit here and condone it if he did, in fact, do what he is alleged to do in regards to domestic violence and whatnot. I will never approve that message. Never, ever, ever, ever. But that being said, every summer about 5 to 10 to 20 of these athletes find themselves on the wrong end of the law, and more times than not, it has something to do with domestic violence. Understand. Let us go to that great expression since we talking about movies like that. Let's go to the movie Spider-Man, where at one point the uncle, before he got killed, said to young Peter Parker, "With great power comes great responsibility." What that simply means is you know what you signed up for when you became a professional athlete. You know that you are scrutinized on a much higher level than your average human being, especially if you look like this with all this pretty brown stuff on you. They're going to look and expect more of you and from you. And the minute you even are perceived as effing up, particularly when you are a person like Richard Sherman, who professes to be so smart, Stanford grad and all, yeah, they're going to take that opportunity to throw you under the damn bus. Yeah, they're reporting on it, Hugh, and yeah, I'm tired of it. And yeah, it happens all the time. And yeah, he might be guilty, he might not be. Let's be honest though, most of these people, when it's all said and done, they do be guilty. You, they do. Now, in the real world, not so much. But when it comes to these athletes, yeah, because they feel like they have the autonomy. They feel like because I'm a star athlete, in the case of Richard Sherman, I can get away with stuff that other people that don't have this type of bread cannot. So for all we know, yeah, he could have did it. I hope the hell he did not. But at the same time, if he did, I need him to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and move on. But keep in mind, Richard Sherman, one of the older athletes in the NFL, if it go down like that and he missed a year, he probably done. But in the end, it's just another Bronx tale. Don't care, Hugh. Tired of seeing these stories. Tired of reporting on them. Tired of Stephen A. Smith and ESPN and CBS Sports Network making hours and hours of content based on these little things, these altercations between athletes and the people in their life. Just like they did. Now, here's the thing, though. The Ray Rice thing was a little bit different, Miss Pat.
Oh yeah, it was a lot different.
Remember, one, we got that video. Ain't no sugarcoating that one, boo boo. He knocked the piss out her. And he lucky that he is not in jail today. Because in the ideal world, he probably should have been. Because bottom line, if you are in a real fight with another man, I don't think you hit somebody as hard as he hit her. And then basically pump dragged her out the that I can't condone that on any level. It ain't enough apology. I understand that it's his wife now and they love each other, but for hell, all I know, one, she around for the money, or two, she's scared to leave him because of what happened. Because at some point he just said, yeah, you try to leave, you think what I did in the elevator, it ain't shit compared to what I'm gonna do. Who knows? All I'm saying is, people, part of the reason why these stories get the leverage and the traction that they do is because as soon as we see them like, big story, Sherman did it. I ain't for it, Hugh. Tired of talking about these things. I understand it's football, it's important, that's your thing. But in terms of these particular stories, this negative bullshit in regards to our people of color in particular, unless it's something major involving several folks, or it is something that was reported and you got the videos and all that, these minor infractions, I don't want to talk about them no more. Sick of
I did my due diligence on this too. And his wife Ashley Moss basically said he didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't harm my children. He's a good person, and basically we just want to get him out of jail. I'm looking at it like maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but I'm not defending him if he did anything. But it's just basically always in the tabloids, man.
Move on, brother. Life's too short. Move on. And while we on the subject, if you plan on bringing up that doggone Mingo situation, we ain't even got to address that at all. That's even less of a
I wouldn't even talk about anything like that on air, man. It wouldn't even be appropriate.
release. They had the right to do that to him. If they feel like he's talented enough, he'll end up somewhere else. CFL, World League, Spring
He
League.
may be back in the NFL.
Who is? Bottom line, tired of it. Let's move on. Okay, Ms. Patson, I am saying that they keep showing it over and over. That happens to lots of people that aren't famous. Yeah, but see, the difference is Ray Rice had money. That's why it played out the way he did. It did with him. You get back here. You don't be trying to leave. Don't you run. But yeah, in terms of basic person A, yeah, that person, whether they did it or not, might end up locked up for 20 years, and we won't know nothing about it. Won't be a story or anything. Those types of stories unfortunately happen every day to people of color. That's a whole nother argument. But anyway, what else you got, Hugh?
Man, I wanted to get in depth on the NBA and the NBA finals right now too, man.
I'm talking about now. You talk about something I want to actually talk about. Thank you, Hugh. Thank you, brother. Let's talk NBA finals. Because so far I like it. This is one of the better finals I've seen. What do you think, Hugh?
It's been a pretty good finals, man. And I like it, man, from the standpoint, man, me in the perspective of the Phoenix Suns right now, I like period what Chris Paul doing with that young team, man. Because like I told you before, I've said it several times when he first went over there. I said it seems like they're trying to put him in a situation where he can never succeed. I mean, he was with the Charlotte Hornets or whatever you want to call them, the Pelicans. He went to OKC. He went to the Rockets. He was with the Clippers, and I'm like, okay, he had a lot of shortcomings, man. But with this move right here, I said, okay, I did like the young players, but I'm like, man, they're really young, and are they going to help him? You know, into like the NBA, people who win the championship status. That's what I wanted to say. Because at first I was like, is that a team that's really going to get him over the hump so he can finally win a ring? And surprisingly enough, man, I was damn wrong. Yeah, me too. Bro, I definitely want to see that brother get a ring. He carried the team the first game. It was a little mixture of him and Devin Booker in the second game. The third game, man, it was like big ups first off to Phoenix for handling their home court. But man, Milwaukee did the same thing in the last game. And Giannis looked like the regular Giannis that we was used to seeing this year. But we can't give all the love to Giannis, man. You see Brook Lopez have his shine, man, his right hand man, his Robin, his Middleton. That dude's an assassin, Drew Holiday. That's what they built that team for, man. But his performance with the 41 points, man, and then because they were down, and just for them to take over the game the way they did, man, that seemed like the momentum shift. And I was in the favor of Milwaukee because did you see Devin Booker game, man? Damn, he can't follow it with another game like that, man. I didn't think and I didn't expect for him to only have like 10 points and play as poor as he did.
Okay,
Regard.
let's break down some of the major players for a minute, y'all. First of all, yes, I agree with you, Ro. I too want to see Chris Paul get a ring after 16 years of what he went through in terms of his NBA life. As much as he has been one of the forefront players in the league, we know he, among other things, is the league speaker, representative, president. We know that he is very influential in the world of the major players. In other words, LeBron's, the KDs of the world. They are all good friends. So there is that. All his other friends have rings. I want him to be part of that conversation. So I agree. In terms of his availability, we know that he is playing hurt. We know he has problems with the hands. We know the shoulder is still an issue. I've seen him limping a few times. He is basically giving his all to make this happen. And more than likely, barring some momentous games from Booker or even Mr. Ayton, he will probably be the MVP if the Nets, well, not the Nets, if the Suns are the ones that win. That being said, I am glad that this is not an afterthought because we all know if Giannis did not play in these finals, we would probably be looking at this being over tonight.
Pretty much.
Chris Middleton aside, they would not and cannot win the NBA Finals without a at least relatively healthy Giannis, which it appears we have going right now. Kyle Savage, Sparkle Face, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Yeah, that being said, I hate that one of these teams has to lose because I feel for both of the fan bases. Keep in mind, Phoenix has never won a championship. Remember, this is a team that had Hall of Famers on it, like Kevin Johnson, and of course, the great Charles Barkley. This is a team that basically tried to make moves that they were unable to make. Remember, at one point, the great Shaquille O'Neal was even on this team.
Yeah.
But yet, while all of that, no championship. Then, of course, you got on the other side Milwaukee, who has not won a championship since the all-time leading scorer, the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was on the squad. So there's that. Coming from a small market town, because unfortunately Detroit is that now, you can't help but feel for both of these teams and understand what it means to win a championship, having won one or two here in Detroit. We know what that would mean for those markets. From that point on, at least for the next few years, when you get the NBA package, you're going to get a lot of Phoenix or a lot of Milwaukee because they're the champs. And you got to always show the champs and what they got going on. So there's that. Then, of course, it also helps in the recruiting process, because much like college, the NBA has a recruiting thing as well. And you can look at it from the standpoint of, okay, Chris Paul, this is his last go around. But you still got that young team, and you could be the next Chris Paul on that squad. We look for somebody to get mentored by Chris and then take his place. Because, sorry, Peyton, you is not it. You is a six man, you're a bench player, you're going to be that. But on the other hand, you got Milwaukee, and you got Giannis in his prime. And right now, he on the verge of a championship. And you could be like, okay, Giannis got a ring, but we can get 3 or 4 more if we add you to the mix with everybody else. That's the recruit. Yeah, I understand Milwaukee ain't the best town to hang out in, but look, you want that championship, don't you? There is that. So that being said, looking forward to game 4. The keys, of course, are the major players, but need to see more bench people step up. Brook Lopez, I need you to show up and show out, bro, on offense and defense, because there was certain times in game 1 he started to take over a little bit before they kept making the mistake of letting Chris Paul do the pick and roll on him, and he ended up checking Chris Paul, and Chris was doing it. He was doing it. Because the thing would be, they do the pick and roll, Lopez will fall back to protect the rim. Meanwhile, you know, Chris's main thing, the thing he likes to do, the mid-range. So you leave all that open, hell yeah, he gonna light you up. So yeah, you got to do better, Brook Lopez. Another thing, we need somebody else off that Milwaukee bench. That doggone Portis. I need him to step his game up.
Yeah.
Oh, Giannis ain't 100%. I need you to come in sometime and help him out offensively. Grab some more of them boards. Help him out on the defensive end so that he ain't got to do as much. Because, yeah, Giannis, you know, at times he looks very much like Giannis, blocking shots and taking it to the hole. But in the same token, there's a pressure on that man. And his main game, taking it and driving it to the hole and dunking, that usually leads to fouls. And you know what's been happening? When Giannis get to the line, act it out for me. You okay? I'm Giannis.
Count it down. They count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brick.
And that's what it's been. It's to the point where I can sit here and tell you when he gonna make it and when he gonna miss it. Anytime you see him take that extra breath, that's a brick. If you take that little stutter breath, that's where the air balls come in. They in his head with that. It works. So they gonna continue to do it. Period. And he needs to get past it. I need him to be practicing that in practice. Have somebody right there standing next to him every time he do it. 10, 9, 8. Have somebody on the other end talking shit. You gonna miss, boy. And just get used to it. Because in the end, it makes no sense that he can hit that occasional 3 and it be all net, but you can't hit a simple free throw. I'm talking about when he missed, it don't be no slightly and off the, it be straight up bricks and straight up air balls.
It's mental.
Bottom line is, you about to create the new Hacker Shack doing that. It's gonna be a close game. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, foul him.
But you know how mental that is too, though, E-Man, because remember back in the Washington Wizard Cleveland series when LeBron told my mans and it looked like Washington was gonna win that game. That's when they had Gilbert Arenas, you know, Agent Zero, man, and he was one of the better players at this time. But when it came down to the crunch, man, LeBron walked past him and whispered, "You missed these shots, man. You going home." And what did he do? He choked, man. It's like that heat of the moment at that line when you're all alone, it seemed like it put a bigger spotlight on you, on a bigger radar than anything, man. And you know, millions and millions of people are watching at home. It just seems like it does that. It does something to you, man.
Okay. You got my man's Pride Hunter checking in. What up, Pride? What's good? He says, when and if Phoenix wins it all, this will be one of the most impressive championship runs in NBA history. Possibly the most impressive since Houston went back-to-back at the number 6 seed, in my humble opinion. I ain't mad at that. I kind of agree with that, Pride. To be honest, it will be that impressive from that. I mean, it would have been even more impressive if Miami would have somehow found a way to pull it out last year against the
So
Lakers.
yeah, absolutely.
That'd have been a hell of a story too. But that being said, I agree with Pride. This is impressive. Remember, we talked about a Phoenix team that about 2, 3 years ago was deep in the lottery, so much so that they got the number one pick, and it turned out to be a pretty good one. And then went on, made a very good move in grabbing Chris Paul, and suddenly finds itself 2 games away from an NBA championship. Letting you know that you, as a Detroit franchise that has the number one pick, if you pick wisely, and he turns out to be a pretty good pick, and you add some good picks in that second round, which we got 3 picks, you two in a couple of years might very well be in that same boat if you play it right. Probably even more so. Remember that it's so much not as good as the West, especially if Giannis end up leaving Milwaukee. That leaves everything open, particularly if he end up going
Oh,
where you
absolutely.
think a Giannis would end up going out there with his
Mhm.
other brother. Hey,
Oh,
what's
he's
going
probably
on, Trey?
when they won that first one, the Pistons in 2004.
Exactly. So
But yeah,
yeah, but
you're
like
right.
I'm definitely looking forward to these games. I still will go with my bold prediction of Phoenix in 6. I'm gonna stick with that. That being said, would not be surprised if Milwaukee finds a way to pull it out again tonight. Though I think it will be a much closer game than it was in Game 3. But that
Absolutely.
being said, if Phoenix does win tonight, yeah, I'm waiting on Friday so we can I believe Friday is when they'll play next, when we'll see it end out. Because they win this one, when they go home, they finishing it in Phoenix. It's over with.
Yeah, because they doing their job right now. Everybody defending their court, and that's what you're supposed to do. And if Phoenix can mess around and sneak one, yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Very good point there, Pride. Just ask Nick Anderson of Orlando about the mental part of missing free throws. That brother all but fell out of the league. And not only that, that's part of what they said led to Shaq saying, hell with Orlando. I can't make it happen here. I'm going to play for the Lakers. You
Yeah,
can't
it didn't really surprise me
with missing them free throws.
because they had everything in place too, man. They had Shaquille and Penny. That was a hell of a combination, man. And Penny in his prime was just as dangerous as any of these players right now as we speak of. He just suffered a lot of injuries, man. But that was a team who I definitely thought can win several championships. But that's just how it is, man. It's to the point where it'll either make or break you when it comes to that free throw line, man. That's the NBA island. That's their version of an island right there, E, when it comes to basketball, man. I don't even think, man, we talk a good game on the show about certain things, but hell, man, it's like, well, if you on that island alone and the game is in your hands, man, I don't know how I'll be able to hold up to that, man. It's that mental, man. But some players be able to hold up on that type of responsibility. Some people fall apart when they know that type of pressure on them.
It's kind of crazy how in that same game, in the same environment, you have somebody and they hit them free throws like it's nothing, like it's breezy. The people like Chris Paul, the people like Steph Curry, those type of people where it's
Dame
like
Dollar,
they still got pressure. It's like when you foul and they get to laughing like, you know I'm about to hit these, right? You know you know about that. But then you got other people and they get fouled and they be like, oh Lord, no. The people like Ben Wallace,
Ben
people
Simmons.
like Ben Simmons, Shaquille O'Neal, where it's like, well, here we go. The hacker being the hacker shack. Yeah, it's gonna be a long game. So bottom line is Giannis win or lose the championship, get your ass in that gym and practice these free throws. Cause hell, even LeBron ain't the best free throw shooter in the world more nights than not.
You hit them when they count.
But you can tell he practiced enough to like when game time comes, he'll be ready. Yeah, even damn what is his name? Former Piston. You know who I'm talking about, Pride.
Who, Tayshawn?
No, no,
Oh,
no,
you
no,
talking
no.
about free throw shooter?
Andre Drummond. Yeah, even he became a
Oh,
much
yeah.
better throw shooter after lots of
You
practice.
seen it in LA. You seen it in LA, how he handled the pressure of the free
Right.
throws.
Hell, even Dwight Howard been doing a little better with the free throw shooting over the
He
years.
sure did. He stepped up to the occasion this year.
That was a horrible free throw shooter that got better. You're right about that, Pride. Absolutely. It's
You
fixed.
got to focus on the fundamentals, man. Y'all getting paid millions, man, to play this game, man. Focus on those main things like that, the basics, man.
Bottom line, if that's the only part of my game that's really lacking, every day in the off season, yeah, it's 5 in the morning. I don't give a damn. Get your ass up and come rebound for me. I got to practice these free throws for the next couple of hours. Then we'll go to breakfast and have the private chef cook us something to eat, and then we doing more free throws. Damn, Honda, I'm gonna give you $1,000. Okay, let's go do this, man. Whatever you need to do to make that happen, make that happen.
Because the best players are going to play to be the best, man. You know, they're going to practice and get better. You know, besides Allen Iverson, man, he don't give a damn about practicing.
You said something about practice. And my bottom line, Ben Simmons, if Giannis getting up at 5, I need you to get up at 3. Jumpers, and then take a nap, and then get up and do it all over again till you nice and sleepy, and do that for about a month straight. Then mess with them Kardashians or anybody else that's trying to get up on you because you got 30+ mil in the bank.
Because what really pissed
damn game.
What pissed me off about him too, even I'm gonna send you the actual video, man. If you ain't see it already, how Ben was out there shooting threes, shooting jumpers, and he looked great. And you know the red game, but when it came to the professional,
that video, bottom line is that means nothing to me if you can't do it in the game.
Damn, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure Conor McGregor probably did pretty good in practice, but you see what happened.
You really want to go there right now with this dude, Conor?
Now I understand this, your list, and you making the rules tonight and all that, but can we talk about that at least for a minute?
We got to talk about that, man.
Conor, my man, it's a wrap. That's ball game.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
You're done. You're done. Bottom line, in terms of people you could have fought, that was the best of the best. Poirier kind of like on that end of it. You know, if
you don't want to rematch with Khabib.
And you know, if they would have came off on you the way they would have came off on you, yeah, that what is that DraftKings that was paying people the extra money for the first round knockout, it would have happened.
Oh yeah,
it would have happened.
It was close to happening.
Yeah, and I know people mad about that because that's a lot of money that they missed out on. But nonetheless, Conor, you done, bro.
Well, is how he carried himself. After the fight, you heard what he said after the fight. He's so uncharacteristically shady.
Some idiot ass shit.
That's what he known for. His mouth. He could talk a good game.
When you realize that, yeah, I lost, but I still made a lot of money just for being in this bit. I see Conor McGregor doing one of 4 things. 1, riding off into the sunset with all the money we done made. Not gonna happen. Ego too big to let it go like that. 2, coming back and attempting to fight this fight again, and people being stupid enough to pay for it. Not with my money. 3, saying the hell with MMA. I'm a boxer for real now. I'm going into boxing, but I'm not going to fight no real fighters. I'm going to fight these people past their prime. I'm going to try to fight Roy Jones Jr. or something like that in exhibition and make big money that way. Or this Rance Paul, that little punk. Or 4, saying, okay, let me go ahead and get my announcer on. Because, you know, I got the gift for gab, and people want to hear what I got to say about it. Yeah, let me do that. And then, of course, to, you know, shout out my man Pride Hunter, there's option 5.
I knew he was going to go there. I thought this was going to be 4.
Option 5, bulk up by another 50 pounds and become the next WWE welterweight champion of the world. Cruiserweight title, that type of shit. NXT. Because he got enough skill probably now to pull that off. So, yeah. But MMA, big card, big draw, done.
He got destroyed that fight, man. And I actually had Poirier winning that fight too, man, because after how he beat him that second fight, I said I don't even think Conor's ready. I don't give a damn how much practice he get. And he trained, you of course you know. But I didn't like the way how he said he was gonna murder him and have him go out on the stretcher. You see how Karma plays a game. You see how Karma plays a beautiful way of, ending his that possibly could have been a career ender too, man. How he snapped his ankle, man. You can't say you gonna murder somebody and put them out on the stretcher, and then that happened to you.
They
It's
said
like
that
you
injury for
be
him.
careful with your word of mouth.
They said that injury for him is almost as bad as what happened to Tiger Woods in the car accident.
Oh yeah,
Now that being said, Tiger Woods actually has been seen walking around. They say that maybe in a couple months he might actually be able to pick up the putter and start putting a little bit. Now I must admit, some of y'all don't like Tiger Woods. He's a Trump loving son of a bitch. But that being said, I want to see it happen because that will be one of the greatest comeback stories in the history of sports, bar none. If he can actually come back from that horrific accident and win another major after everything else that went on in his life, oh, that's a lifetime movie for sure. That's somebody need to be looking like Tiger Woods, play Tiger Woods, and get them an Emmy right quick. Because that'll be
yeah.
a hell of a comeback story.
I don't see it happening, but that would be a good fairy tale ending. I think
Right.
that he need to give it up himself on the Conor McGregor note.
Right. And then on top of that, put his son in the mix and have him be great too. That makes it even better story. But I digress, y'all. Anyway, yeah, Connor, don't do it, bro. Stop listening to this.
And leave your bee by your mouth before you really get hurt.
You done made your money. You got your damn whiskeys and all of that. You got your other little businesses. You got your son to look after. Go ahead and move on while you still got good sense in your head. But yeah, we about to take this commercial break. When we come back, you got a few more things for us to talk about. This Game Time Audible. What's your name again?
Hugh the Guru.
Hugh the Guru, you heard it. And I'm E Beezy. We'll be back, y'all. After
See
these
y'all in a minute.
Let's talk about some of this other stuff you be doing. This right here. Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on in the latest sports news? Check out Pure to the Game Sports Blog with the sports guru, Hugh D. Lee. He'll get you together. Check it out. Follow it on Facebook. Make sure you like it. All right, y'all. The show is back. I know you saying don't let this happen for too much longer because we're ready to go and watch the game. We're going to go watch it too. So give us another 20 minutes and then we can all watch it together, all right? That's why we came on early today. But anyway, before that, we got some more sports to talk about. What else you got, Hugh?
Man, before we went into the Olympics, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the MLB with the trade deadline. Man, I've seen a few guys that are actually up for grabs right now, and I've been hearing right now Joey Gallo's name a lot. A big heavy hitter in the lineup. I've been hearing right now New York Yankees got their eyes on him, and the San Diego Padres, and other names they throwing out there is Chris Bryant. They're saying Chris Bryant is definitely one of the names that can go out there.
Now,
And you have somebody in Trevor Story for one.
I need you to also throw Mr. Rizzo's name in there from the Cubs as well.
Yeah.
Reason being is because it's being said after the Cubs have rode the glory of being Super Bowl, well, not Super Bowl, MLB, that management is looking at it from the standpoint of, no, we're not about to pay all these people, all these big contracts. They're going to demand too much money. We're going to kind of downgrade and rebuild and pull out some of these folks that we got in our minor league system and try to do it again that way. So that being said, these people may not only be tradable, but you might be able to get them for a reasonable price. to some of your key people. For example, if for some crazy reason the Tigers decide, okay, let's try to ramp up this reboot quickly and go get a Bryant. And of course, trade some of those key components that we got in the minors. For example, trade our number one pick, Turkelson, to the Cubs for Bryant. And along with some of those other picks that we got. I ain't mad at that. Bryant still being relatively young, being a versatile player where he could play both the infield and the outfield, or be a fine DH perhaps once Mickey is gone. I ain't mad at it. I understand might be the next coming, the next great third baseman like Arenado for St. Louis, but in the same token, Bryant ain't a bad consolation gift. Rizzo, still relatively young himself. I don't think he would necessarily be something the Tigers would be interested in, but definitely if I am in the market for some more power in the lineup, a good locker room guy, that's definitely the type of person I would be looking for. And I'd be willing to give my best prospect in my minor league to make that happen. Sure. Why not? It's been said that initially Abreu might have possibly been on the market for the White Sox, but as you see, the White Sox pretty much a shoe-in to win the Central at this point.
Yeah, so they've been playing nice out.
That deal. But they definitely are looking for some more pitching because they've had a lot of injuries in the starting lineup. So there is that. In terms of Gallo, you still had that big problem with Gallo. Gallo, basically,
he up there in age.
210, 220 hitter. In the end, it's feast or famine with him. Either he's going to hit the ball a long-ass way or he's going to strike out magnificently. What you want. So, yeah, if you are a Yankees team, it makes sense to make that deal because in that little bandbox of a ballpark, yeah, Gallo going to get off. He's good for about quick 10, 15 extra home runs. But if you trade to a team where your stadium ain't quite that, then no, my friend, I wouldn't do it. Not for Gallo. Now, like I said, Bryant, that's the guy. That's the guy people gonna be looking to get into. And Lord forbid, we find Bryant on the Yankees. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You better not.
Always getting the good people and stacking the deck. Especially if they ain't gonna follow through on it. Because in the end, only thing I need not the Lions, but the Yankees to be looking at, pitching. Pitching. Starting pitching. Middle because we know they back end of their bullpen is solid. But we need them. Pitching, middle relief pitching.
They need that third, fourth, and fifth pitcher in that lineup.
Right, because they got plenty of people that can hit in that little ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
And Toronto, same thing. You're doing good. You got a lot of good bats in the lineup. You need more pitching. More pitching.
And that's been the issue, too, because I'm glad you mentioned that because they said the Cubs are going to be major sellers, man. They're going to damn near get rid of most of that team, like you said, and start it off fresh.
Yeah, I want to know. Looking to Miami at this point.
And it's still going to be some of the people who still trying to buy, too, because they're right there on the cusp of the Dodgers right now, man, and they trying to dethrone them boys. And I think they only like maybe 2-3 games back. So, yeah, I definitely like to see a lot of good moves and major moves from some of those teams. But, yeah, I definitely would like to see what a lot of these teams are going to do to try to help their team get over that hump and try to win the World Series. But what really hurt my feelings today, E, since you mentioned the Tigers, man, they talking about since Jonathan Scope been on like a really heavy high streak right now, and his bat's been real good. They've been talking about he might be one of the guys.
The Tigers be the sellers. Can we just stay pat this one time? I want them to sign Jonathan Scope to a multi-year deal. We need somebody like that to stabilize the lineup. Mickey is almost done, people. We cannot get that power hitter anymore. Even in his power hitter, he still wasn't no 40, 50 home run hitter. He was just consistent RBI guy. What's going on, Lauren? I see you. Be stylish. Hello. Thanks for checking in. But yeah, I need them to stay pat. Don't trade nobody.
It'll be like rebuilding all over again, man.
It's time to start adding to the other part of the equation. We cannot grow everybody in the farm system. At some point, we need to buy some people and keep some people. So yes, Scope needs to stay. Grossman also needs to stay. Don't want to
They've
see
been,
them go. Those are the two people they talk about trading. We need to keep them both.
they've been playing solid too, man. They record is like over 500 in the second half. They're like 31-27 record. Man, I've been seeing them, like you said, beat some really good teams, man. And they're probably only like maybe 10, 11 games out of 500, man. So yeah, they just need to focus on keeping AJ Hinch, which I didn't really think was a good idea, but you got those guys over there playing,
I mean,
and just keep that
he is
team they have
doing,
fun.
he is doing a decent job. I must admit that I too was kind of leery of AJ, but
Mhm.
he is doing pretty well with what he has to work with at the moment. But he needs more to work with. And at that point,
Absolutely.
understand what I need to also happen is if we are not there in September, bring them kids up now. This whole plan of let's let them do the A ball, and let's let them do the double A, and then the triple A, and then we'll bring them up. Screw all that, man. I ain't got another 4 5 years to wait for Turkleson and the outfielder Green to come on up. They hitting well in double A. Let's see what they got, baby.
Yeah.
Let's give these kids a shot. Get them that cup of coffee in September and see how they
That's how
pan out.
they do so well.
I mean, in the end, if we know them two players are going to be a part of this team in the next couple of years, let's see what they got now. So if they can come a year early, let's do that. If not, then send them the winter ball. Let them get seasons there, and then have them come up. Speaking of baseball, by the way, we know we had the MLB draft. Tigers picked a pitcher, high school pitcher, decent, not expected to be seen for the next 4 5 years. I want to actually talk about what the Anaheim Angels did, something that no team has ever done before in regards to the draft. Do you know what that is here?
No.
You know, the draft had 20 rounds, right?
Hmm.
20 rounds. The Anaheim Angels, for the first time in the history of Major League Draft, every last pick the Angels made, all pitchers. They chose 20 pitchers, no position players, 20 pitchers. Never been done before. What do you think of that, Hugh?
I've seen when they did 5, man, but damn, 20, that's crazy. But at the same time, it's not so crazy because that's equivalent to, and I know y'all probably get tired of me saying, football, 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 but that's just like how when the Dallas Cowboys said, you know what, let's focus on this offensive line. If we work on that, everything else will fall in place. The pitching is so important in baseball right now. With 20 pitchers, you're at least going to get out of those. I'm going to say, throwing it out there, maybe 2 or 3 starters. So,
When you look at the history of the draft in the last 5 years,
mhm,
many of the top picks, obviously pitchers, have
of
not
course.
panned out well, folks. A lot of them had them early arm blowouts. For example, take the pick that the Tigers made a few years ago, Mr. Faedo, the top college pitcher at the time, coming out of Miami, I believe it was. He is not playing right now. Needs that Tommy John. You got Rodriguez, I believe his name is. That is one of the pitchers that we got in the Justin Verlander deal. He too is out for the season with the bad arm. Understand that most of our pitchers now are power pitchers, throwing 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. Arms were not meant to do that on a consistent basis, even though pitchers aren't pitching as much as they used to. Still, if you are not properly groomed and conditioned, as many of these college players and high school players may not be, because they just don't have the technology and the training to do that, it leads to a lot of these pitchers coming into the league and blowing their arms out early on. And they are never the same after that. So because of that, that is why more pitchers are being taken in the earlier rounds, because it is felt that half of them are throwaways. And you need to figure out who is what and what is who. So yeah, understand that we've said for years the main problem Anaheim has had has not been the offense. It's
It's
been
been,
the fact that they have pitching issues, particularly starting pitching. And obviously most of the 20 pitchers they took were starting pitchers. Because in the end, if they are to make good use of Shohei Ohtani and my man in his prime with all that money that they paid
Michael
for that,
Trout.
Yes, that guy. If they need to get something done, that's how they need to go about it. Develop these pitchers, get them up here as soon as they can, so that we can start to win a couple championships before these guys get too old and paying them the 40 and $50 million they're going to demand. It's not a good do.
Yeah, they need that. They have really been slacking on the power hitting. It's just been, the pitcher get dinged up a lot, man. They might have like Maker and a couple other guys, but for the most part, after the 1-2 starters, that thing get rocked every year, man. That's why the records haven't been as good, man. And like you said, you have paid all that money to Trout, and now you got a Shohei Ohtani over there, man. You got two franchise players. You still have Justin Upton, man. I forgot that dude was still on that team, man. Funny as a sound, but you still got guys who can still hit and produce on an MLB level. So they had to go out there and they had to strengthen up that pitching, man, because some of them guys might not be starters. They might look at it like you starting pitcher, we might put you in the middle of the lineup, and we might have you at the back of the bullpen, as one of the closers or the setup man. So they have a nice thing in store right now. Like you said, most of them might not pan out. So, out of those guys, 20, you at least gonna get three that'll be legit, heavy starters in the league. So I think that's a pretty good and smart strategy. Because like you said, man, starting pitching, when you have some solid starting pitching in the MLB, that means championships.
Agreed.
Championships.
Thank you, Brother Lauren. Appreciate you. But here's the thing. I'm wondering now that Shohei Ohtani has had the success that he has, if in some of these future drafts in the next couple of years, will we start to see more two-way players being drafted? Because we know there are a lot of high school people who are both good hitters and good pitchers as well. But usually by the time they get drafted, it's determined, okay, you're just going to be a pitcher or you're just going to be an outfielder, whatever the case may be. I wonder if more people will give them the autonomy to say, do you be good at both? Let's try you out at both. Let's sign you to a contract based on you doing both and see how it works out. Now, if in the end, if you are far better at one thing than the other, that's one thing. But if you are good at both, then hey, then you have like the opposite situation. Remember, Mr. Andrew Gase, former Tiger, who basically was a decent outfielder in terms of his defense, but as a hitter, not so much. When he got on base, wreaked havoc, stole bases, all of that, but didn't get on base enough. But as a pitcher now, throwing 97, 98 miles an hour. So good that he made the Olympic squad. So who knows who might be out there that could possibly pull off both. I think that would work out more if you had more people that would be more relievers than opposed to starters, mind you, where you could have them come and be in the starting lineup as a hitter, but then in the seventh inning, do the double switch, bring them in the pitch, an inning or two. That's definitely something I would like to see.
I definitely believe it's going to happen, and Shohei is opening doors for these guys right now. And that'll be a good look for baseball because, like you said, it's a struggling sport right now. They're not advertising these guys like they should. They're not putting the better players on the market and basically showing what they are or who they are, Vlad Guerrero Jr., etc. But I think they need to implement a lot more of that in the sport. And I think the more they do, the more they can help out their sport because it's 162 games most times when you watch baseball. Man, they need to have better use of that. Show these guys face on TV more. Under Armour, Gatorade, Nike, and all these other things out there that can advertise your players. Man, I just think they need to do a better job to help with their growth.
Agreed. Totally agreed, my friend. Now, here we go. We got about 10 more minutes left. You got one more for us, Hugh? You got one more?
You already know, man. Our predictions for tonight. Game 4 predictions.
Bottom line, I got to go with Milwaukee, man. I think they find a way to pull it out again tonight and even up the series. That being said, I still go with my prediction. Suns in 6.
I too actually think Milwaukee gonna pull it out, man. It's not gonna be a really embarrassing blowout like the game one, but I think that they'll probably pull it off by like 5 to 6 points, man. I think by them being at home, having that momentum, and it seems like the momentum shift whenever team goes on a roll. I feel like if right now the Phoenix can win on the road and prove us wrong, then I think they'll go ahead and win probably in 5. But I don't see that happening tonight. I still feel like Milwaukee got enough weapons and enough talent on that team to hold Giannis down, and they will pull out this game. I'm going to even say the score 101 to 106.
I'm going
Milwaukee.
to go 109, 102 Milwaukee. Keep in mind that if it's not that way and Phoenix does win tonight, it's because Devin Booker went off. Because he got one coming. It's coming. Understand, he too is hurt. I know that face. That
Oh,
face
yeah,
of
absolutely.
him. It definitely is. But if he can get past that and say, I don't care if I get hit tonight, or if by some he'll be like, you know what? Fuck it. Give me that mask. I ain't got time to be worried about this. And let me just do what I do. If Booker go off for about 40 or 50, oh yeah, this series over.
Because he can definitely do that.
And he will win MVP if that happens.
Man,
So
on
yeah,
that note, we
yep.
all good, man. Hope all y'all have a great NBA final experience tonight, man. Here we are, man. Game 4. And before we go out there, y'all already know what to do. He advertised it already, but I'm advertising myself. Go over to that Peer to the Game blog, man. I'm on there all the time, man, 24/7. Do you, man? If you have any questions or want me to put anything or talk about anything, let me know. I try to be the first one to most of the major topics and put it out there for y'all and for y'all entertainment. So give me a hit up, man. Appreciate all the love and support from the people who are already on the page. And hey, man, tell a friend, man, if they're trying to see some football, basketball, baseball, whatever kind of news y'all want in this, sports world, I try to give it to y'all, man, in the best way possible. Check me out.
Okay, now before we end the show, there's 2 things I want to talk about. One, I want to shout out all my people in the Nighthawk Network. Prayers, of course, to Big Meech has had a
Yeah,
loss of family in recent days. We are praying for you, brother. I'll be in contact with you the next day or two to see how things are going with you. You are in our thoughts and prayers. For
amen.
those of you who are members that I would say at this point are missing in action, people that we have not seen a lot of lately, I'm gonna try to reach out to some of you guys in the weeks to come because we want to know what's going on. You are part of the process, part of the initial growth of the network, but now we're not hearing from you. You don't seem to be tuning into many of the programs. We want to know why. We kind of want to know if it's something we're doing, if it's something we're not doing, if it's things that we're addressing or not addressing. We want to know what's going on with you. We miss you, man. So shout out to people like my man said Bill Buck and Pastor Tillman and my uncle and all of them. People that were tuning into the show on a regular basis and chiming in. Where y'all been, man? We miss y'all. We're gonna hit you up and see what's going on. Understand, we want y'all to be a part of the growth of the network. We talking about doing sweepstakes. We talking about winning prizes, handing out shirts and jerseys and stuff. We talking about doing a football league. Looking forward to that. Talking about some with a nice trophy, nice little spinner chain and all of that. We want y'all to be part of that because you the reason why we got to this point. We don't want to leave y'all behind, and we don't want you to be like the hell with us. So if y'all look at this later on, hit me up, man. You can hit me up right here on the Gmail. Where that? Where that? Here you go. Come on now. Don't get acting up. There we go, right there. NightHNetwork313 at gmail.com. What up, Big Yellow? NightHNetwork313 at gmail.com. Hit us up, man. We want to hear from you. We miss you. We want to know what's going on. What can we do to make the show better? What can we do to bring y'all back to us? Make y'all more involved? Do you feel the same way, Hugh?
Most definitely, man. I think we're gonna have to go live with us being in the same location, man. I think that'd be something good too to get our personalities together and kind of, get our feelings or like just anything, man. We probably get to the point, man, things get heated in some of those conversations, man, when we close to each other, man. I might be able to pull off that Detroit Tigers hat and ball for a couple of days. How you feel about that, young man?
Well, be all good once you get vaccinated, Mr. Lee. Yeah, he. Yeah, we need to talk about that on the other show next week. But no, not next week. My bad. I said we was done. Yeah, so yeah, just so y'all know, next week, Game Time Audible or Get Off My Lawn Live will not be going on the air. We're gonna take a little break, a little summer hiatus, take care of some stuff, and let the wine breathe and all that. But when we come back in the following week, we want to hear from y'all. We want to see y'all. We want to interact with y'all. We want y'all to comment. We miss y'all, baby. But before I end, I also want to talk about briefly the comments of this young lady. Because one of the things that he did not bring up was the ESPYs that were this weekend. And this young lady, as y'all know, one of my favorites, Miss Paige Beckers, the point guard for the UConn Lady Huskies, she made a statement that was very poignant and profound to me. She talked about how there is a need for us to have more black women be profiled in sports. Understand, you see what this young lady looks like. She grew up in Minnesota, a small town in Minnesota, no less, where many of the people did not look black, they looked like her. But yet, because she was a athlete with great ability, had the ability to go and play with many of her peers in other states and whatnot, many of them being black and forming kindredships with them, she recognizes that for the growth and the vitality of the sport that is women's basketball, more of them need to be profiled and shown. She pointed out that in the WNBA, most of the athletes that won most of the major awards were black, but most of the people that got the press were the white athletes. The people like Seattle Storm's power forward, like Miss Sue Bird. Those people, they were the ones that got the major headlines. Meanwhile, the MVP in defense and all of that, you know who that is? I don't. You know why? We're not profiled. One talked
Mm-hmm.
about it much. So she's absolutely right. And she did not have to come and say any of that. She was not coerced into that. She said that of her own fruition, and I'm very proud of her for recognizing that and being a spokesperson for those who did not have the voice to do so. Your thoughts, Hugh?
Man, that's pretty deep, man. Most times when the white athletes start advertising and promoting and putting that out there, man, it's just more or less for people to listen in and chime in and make sure that they're paying attention because for the most part, it gets swept under the rug if they don't. We need more people with her color, white people, of course, the white athletes, to step up, and talk and, basically promote more of not just a me, but a we type of, environment in these sports. Because that's the bottom line, man. That's the only way we'll be impacted in these sports, man, is for all of us to stand up and make a stand for each other. And big ups to her to even back up and even voice her opinion on that too, man. Regardless, because the more the white athletes speak, the more they'll be heard and the more people will listen. So yeah, that was awesome of her, man. To not make it about just her, but the product as well. So yeah, man, definitely proud of her for even making that.
Right, and I also like to shout out this young lady as well for her short SB speech. You could tell she was a little bit nervous, uncertain about what people would say or what type of reception she would get, but she was very well received. And I am proud of Miss Osaka for starting to get over some of her mental anxiety in regards to public speaking and whatnot. I hope she's able to do that and have a long career in tennis. Shout out to my Bigo sister Ash. What's going on, Ash? Thank you very much. But yeah, that being said, y'all, we about to get on up out of here. We thank you, and hopefully we will see you in a couple weeks when we come on back. That is the Sports Guru. I am E Beasy. This has been Game Time Audible, and we about to get the hell on, y'all.
Enjoy them NBA Finals. Game 4 is on right now.
Yep, let's go, let's go. And we are going. Bye bye. GameTime Audible is a Nighthawk network.